Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It is Wednesday, September 11th. And whenever I say that date, it has such great meaning. I know for all of us, specifically for many of us who are in New York or had family in New York or knew people who perished in the World Trade Center bombing. And so I'm going to bring Mark on the mic here to find out, were you working at CBS on September 11th?
No. That was my Arizona days. I was in Phoenix in 2001.
Really? So what was it like to be a New Yorker outside of, so far away from that?
It was very weird. The whole thing was just very surreal. And I cannot believe that it's 23 years ago. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, no, I remember just waking up and I had at that time, there was a answering machine. I forgot what they're called. Answering machine in my apartment. I had a message, I think, from my sister, basically saying, "Don't worry, like Dad's okay," because my father was going back into the city for work, and he was actually at that point he was on the bridge when they shut everything down.
You're kidding.
He was stuck on the bridge, couldn't go anywhere.
Which bridge?
The GW, George Washington.
Oh my gosh!
So she was just calling to tell me that. I'm like, what is she talking about? Because the time difference, I didn't realize what was going on. And I turned on the TV, and I'm like, oh my God, it's crazy.
It was so awful. I was living in Providence, Rhode Island, and I remember I was on my treadmill down in my basement, and I was watching CNBC or something, and they broke in, and it looked like, this is one of these weird things where like a little plane went into the World Trade Center, and I remember calling my brother-in-law and my sister very quickly before the phone systems all went down. I'm like, where is everybody? And we didn't know where my dad was. And at the time, my father was on the board of the American Stock Exchange, 86 Trinity Place, which is like very close to the damage and everything. So we were worried we couldn't find him. And then the phones went dead, and then we couldn't find anybody. And, it was shocking. It was intense. It was weird to know, an entire company like Cantor Fitzgerald or big organizations where, I had friends who were, walking uptown from Wall Street up, all the way up. And it's just shocking that so much time has gone by, and yet it's quite a visceral feeling for me. And I remember feeling very disconnected from not disconnected. I think that maybe I felt a little bit different than most of the people who were experiencing this in New England who are not from New York. So it was interesting how we all, the New Yorkers, the expat New Yorkers, all got together and were very, had somewhat of a different feeling about that. Also, Sue Schlesinger, my mother, once everything kind of, we sort of understood what was happening. You remember, Mark, that like the exchange was closed, mass transit was closed. And then I think that the train started running again like a week later. And don't you know, Sue Schlesinger says, I'm going into the city. I said, what? Really? Yeah, no one's going to stop me from using my beautiful city. How
That's
about
right.
that? It's weird. I'm not sure. I know that there was like this real huge desire to build something big in its place.
Or rebuild.
I would have been happy if they kept it all low. I really would have been.
I kind of like seeing the new tower. I do. And I like, we're recording this a little early, but soon here in just a matter of days, there will be the blue lights shining up.
Yeah.
And we'll have a perfect view of that now.
And the museum is quite well done. So I will encourage people to go visit that when they come to New York.
I cannot do that.
You can't?
It's too much.
You're such a baby. I love that about you. All right, I'm going to do some emails because we got to get you out of this mode. So put yourself on mute and have a good cry, and I'll be back to you. Bye-bye. So, gang, if you've got a financial question, give us a holler. Go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you'd like to come on the air. We're going to do some emails today. And by the way, while you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It is fantastic every Friday. And of course, do not forget, we have our next Jill on Money live webinar. It's coming up so fast, a couple weeks, Tuesday, September 24th. We are focusing on real estate, on the housing market, new real estate rules, mortgage market, 7 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday the 24th. You got to fork over $35 to become a member of Jill on Money Live for the next 12 months, and you'll join us for that webinar. All right, let's go and do some emails. This is from Popeye. I like that name. Popeye says, I'm 64. I'm going to be 65 next year in June of 25. I heard if I were to take Social Security now, my 12 and 15-year-old daughters would get $1,800 a month also, not each, but to split. Is it worth it to me? I'm also a retired Navy veteran, so I have that income, and I'll continue to work part-time, which is what I do right now. All right, Popeye, I went to the Social Security website, and here's what it says. When a parent receives Social Security retirement or disability benefits or dies, their child may also receive benefits. Under certain circumstances, a stepchild, adopted child, dependent grandchild. Okay, to receive those benefits, listen to this, Mark. The child must be unmarried and younger than 18. So that you guys got that. So the benefits so the question is, do you need that? And also, if you trigger your own benefits, then you're going to see a reduction in those benefits for your entire life. So if you look at retirement benefits, again, it's possible, but I think maybe you would be better off having more money coming in and essentially being able to have that money to help them. But I don't know if they need it or not. So I don't know. But that's the rule. And I didn't know that rule, Mark. So I learned something. Okay. So this next question is from Robert. And Robert writes, Jill and Mark, I recently found your podcast. I love them. I am in full binging mode. I love that. Thank you so much, Robert. I'm not sure if you've discussed this topic, but my question is, how do I value my pension? My wife and I are 59 and 58. We have $600,000 in retirement savings. 150 of that is Roth, 450 is the pre-tax. However, we both work for local government agencies and we're both eligible for a pension. Our combined pensions will be about $7,200 a month. It's amazing, isn't it? All right. I'm going to give you back of the envelope here, Robert. Consider this. When you retire, like if you had, say, a bunch of money that was in an account, and I'm just going to call it as if it were, like in a retirement account. What many people in the planning world will do is they'll say, how much money can I safely withdraw from this account? It's the safe withdrawal rate. And, when I think of that number, some people use a number that's like 4 or 5%. I'm kind of a wimp. I kind of go 3.5 to 4%, maybe 3 because I'm so wimpy. But let's just say we're saying 4%. Okay. Let's say that would be the right rule. That would suggest that if you had $1 million, you could pull out 40 grand a year safely and not run out of money. And here you're telling me that you have much more than that. You have $7,200 a month. So one way to think about that would be that the value of that, again, approximately, and this is very back of the envelope, is like as if you guys had more than $2 million socked away, you would then draw on. So that's why I think it's funny when people are like, well, I'm a teacher, I don't make a lot of money. Well, wait a second. You do, because you get some of your money today as a actual wage, but then you get a whole chunk of money later that's a guarantee in the form of a pension. So if your local government agency is, especially if like they're also contributing to this, I think this is quite a valuable benefit. So just think about this. You're almost 60 years old. You have 600 grand in retirement plus another 2 million or so. That's how I would value it. James received a notice from a fraud protection service that his Social Security number was found on the dark web as part of a national public data breach. I got a lot of notes from people who got this.
I got all these notices that my number was exposed.
Everybody got that. So it says, my credit bureau records are already frozen. I've let my employer know in case they see anything unusual. That's very smart. I'm going to contact my accountant, my savings and investment providers, the SSA. Is there anything else I should be doing? No. I mean, listen, I don't understand why anybody would have anything but having a frozen credit record. Did you do anything else, Mark, in terms of your own?
No, freezing your credit is really, really the best line of defense that you can possibly take.
And I would freeze the credit for anybody you know. Anybody.
Including minors, which is what this
he's got a 7-year-old. He's got 2 7-year-old children. Freeze their records as well. Isn't this terrible? So annoying to me.
When it comes to the minors, it's a bit more cumbersome because you got to prove that you're the actual parent or guardian. Just a few more documents that you got to provide, but you should still do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's just best practice. Okay. So Gina says, what's a taxable brokerage account? When should you use it? I know it's separate from a 403B. It's separate from savings. It's separate from a CD. All right. You know how you have this 403B account? It's just an account and you invest in stuff in it. A taxable brokerage account is just an account you would open and buy stuff in. Now, you can buy stocks, individual stocks. You can buy individual bonds. You can buy mutual funds. You can buy exchange traded funds. The money that you put in there, it's already been taxed. The money that is generated in terms of interest is taxable, both at the federal level and if you have a state that levies a state income tax at the state level. But the thing about a taxable brokerage account is that it's liquid. It's available to you. There's nothing you have to worry about. Well, has it been open for 5 years? That's the Roth IRA. But, a lot of people have come down hard on me, Mark, to say that I have not been stressing to people that they can always put money into a Roth IRA and whatever they put in, they can take out as long as the account's open for 5 years. That is also possible. But a Roth is different than a taxable brokerage account. It's you actually have better tax treatment with a Roth. But I love a taxable brokerage account because it's liquid, it's accessible, and you can use it whenever you want. So what I would suggest to you is if you think you want to put that as part of your overall investment strategy, Gina, give us a holler, follow up with us. I'd love to hear more from you, and maybe we can help you walk through the steps necessary to figure out where you should do that, where you should open that taxable brokerage account. Okay? So I think that's it. All right, Mark, that's it. That is our program. We would very much want to express our deepest sympathies to anyone who was actually impacted directly from the events of September 11th, wherever you live all over the world and here in the U.S. And if you come to New York, go visit the 9/11 Memorial. It's very moving. Thank you so much for listening. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And put your hands metaphorically on someone's back, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? It would be very nice if you could. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.